Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 2, Episode 7, Like Mother, Like Daughter. This is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
I like it when Rory stands up for herself.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't happen super often,
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice when she does, and when she gets taken seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so the deal with this episode is Rory is not socializing enough at school. She gets taken to the guidance counselor's office, and that's what she tells her, and that Headmaster Charleston has been, like, keeping an eye on her, as has the guidance counselor, and she's not socializing enough, and that can really hurt her chances of getting into Harvard. The socializing, I think clubs and stuff, yes.
Yeah.
But she is on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw her at the beginning of this season doing extracurriculars in the summer to boost up her resume.
Yeah, a lot of assumptions were made. A lot of assumptions. Yeah. And there was no question brought to her about what does your life look like outside of Chilton.
Yeah.
And then why wouldn't you be like, okay, so we're not seeing a lot of interaction here at Chilton. How can we marry your life in Stars Hollow with your experience here at Chilton?
Sure.
Problem solved.
Yeah. So she goes home and she tells Lorelei that she had this meeting with the guidance counselor and blah, blah, blah. And so Lorelei's like, I'm going to talk to the headmaster because this is ridiculous. All they're trying to do is stamp out your individuality, like all of this stuff, which, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Chilton is a private school, but like the American school system is not for free thinking.
No.
So Lorelei gets to the meeting with the headmaster, and he's like, actually, I've got a file on you too, and you don't do any of the parent groups either. So like, you're also kind of in trouble. And I actually do love her just being kind of so flummoxed that she just like takes all the stuff and goes. Like, she doesn't keep fighting.
Because it's weird that they have a file on her.
Well, I'm sure they do on all the parents.
That's weird.
I think it's weird too, but I don't think she's being singled out.
No.
Yeah.
But I think that's weird.
It's a little weird. So I love too that I just, because it's like sometimes Rory needs to stand up for herself and she doesn't always, and sometimes Lorelei needs to be taken down a peg.
Yeah.
And she, like, you know, she was in there with the right intentions and she was correct and everything, but it's like sometimes she still needs to be, you know, you need to ease back.
Yeah. And
she realizes that she's been kind of missing out on stuff too by the end of the episode.
I don't know. I wanted to get away from my parents, so like my time at school was my time away. And
well, she's not at school at the same time.
No, I know, but still, like, I didn't want any crossover.
Oh.
So, like, come to my theater performances, but, like, don't get in the club with me, please.
Oh, no. That would never happen. That's not a thing.
Still, well, no, but I mean, like, the boosters or, like, the parents or whatever. I don't want that.
Oh. Someone has to be a booster.
Why?
So you can raise money for the school. That's what boosters do.
Okay, we'll pick something else other than what I'm doing.
Boosters are for the whole school.
I thought that, no, well, at La Plata, there was, like, different boosters for, like, different sectors.
Oh, maybe they can be specialized.
Yeah, because we had, like, band boosters, we had, like, student government boosters and all that stuff. Yeah.
I was going to say, you can't watch Friday Night Lights with me because, like, like, a way non-zero percentage is talking about the fucking football boosters.
Well. Yeah, and that was a separate thing. Yeah, like, because...
Sports boosters.
Yeah. That's like a whole separate...
Well, I don't know. They were going to, like, redo the interior of the auditorium, it sounded like.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Well, regardless, I didn't even want my parents to come to my swim meets sometimes. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, they would come to away meets, and I was like, why?
Well, I mean, competition, I think that's fine.
Eh.
But, no, because it's like, come when I'm done. I don't need you to be, like, in the mix while I'm doing it.
Mm. Yeah, they were in the mix while I was doing it, while I was swimming.
You were underwater!
Yeah, I still knew they were there. I don't know, that, I guess, for me was my, like, I'm, like, away somewhere hanging out with my friends.
Oh, I guess.
And I was just like, why are you coming here? Why are you doing this?
But they try to talk to you?
Only sometimes. I would, like, go and say hi.
Oh, okay.
But then, I mean, it's not like the bleachers at, like, a swim meet are not on par with the bleachers at, like, a football game.
Mhm.
There's, like, one set of bleachers.
Yeah.
There's, like, you can't avoid the people that have come to see you swim.
Uh,
There's
like-
only so many people, because the pools are small,
Yeah.
the outside is small, there's just, like, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, basically, all that Rory does at lunch is she sits and she listens to her Walkman and she reads a book, which sounds dope to me.
Right.
Because the cafeteria at school is the Wild West. So, the next day, she decides to just sit down at a table, and she does, and it turns out that they have an okay time talking.
Mhm.
It's like, whatever. And then afterwards, Paris accosts her in the hallway and is like, who invited you to sit with the Puffs? And it turns out that it's this, like, high school sorority, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
A high school secret society.
I don't know. They got money. People
Like-
with money do weird stuff.
Like, I went and saw the Skulls in the theater more than once, like anybody my age did. Or maybe just me. Paul Walker and Joshua Jackson.
I saw it after it came out, and I think I watched it on TV.
Oh my God. I was, like, hard obsessed with it. I feel like I want to watch it now as an adult, because it was, like, well before college when I watched it. And I know it's, like, Yale, but I kind of want to go back and watch it and be like, this is dumb. Because it was, like, rowing, I think.
I don't even remember. I watched it once, and I
Because I think that's why they're called the Skulls. Because it's, like, a rowing.
What does skulls have to do with rowing?
Sculling is what it's called. Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's why. I remember there being a lot of rowing, and I was, like, already obsessed with Joshua Jackson, and I thought Paul Walker was very cute.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like I might go watch that right now. So Paris is like, did you tell them that you hate me and, like, all of this stuff? And she was like, I didn't talk about you at all. Like, why would I even discuss you? This is ridiculous. And she's, like, very desperate because her whole family are Puffs, and she's been trying so hard. I love the list of things that she did for Francie.
Yeah. Got her a parking space, tutored her. God, what else did she do?
She organized her locker, and there was, like, at least one other thing, and she was like, the only thing I haven't done is give her a manicure, and if I had any talent with an orange stick, I would do it. And I just thought it was, like, very funny.
She's trying too hard, girl.
She is trying too hard, and that is part of it. So the next day at lunch, she sits with them. She almost doesn't, but then they call her over, and she sits with them again. And Paris is like sitting there or standing there against the wall, and she's just like, oh, well, I heard Paris is looking into, like, another thing, so, like, don't even. And they think it's ridiculous that her whole family's Puffs, and she's gonna, like, purposefully go somewhere else and do it, so they invite her to sit down too. In between all of this, Lorelei has joined the boosters with the incomparable Brenda Strong as the leader. What was her name? Eva?
I think.
Yeah. She is just so beautiful.
She really is.
Like, especially at this time period, because this is not far off from when Desperate Housewives started.
Ah.
And she is Mary Alice. She's the one that dies in the first episode, but she's Mary Alice. Actually, she's also the mom in Everwood.
I never watched Everwood.
Well, she also is dead immediately, starting out the show, but there's lots of flashbacks.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, does Brenda Strong just, like, she's like, I'm going to sign on to be dead. And so I come for, like, 3 weeks to film the season, and then I'm back home.
Mm.
It was kind of like Jeffrey Dean Morgan for a while. Because it was like...
on Grey's.
On Grey's, and then Supernatural.
Oh.
That's how the show starts, is it's like, well, he's alive for a little while, but he does die. And he's like, that's how the show starts, is like, Dean comes to see Dean.
Oh.
And he's like, Dad hasn't been home for a while, and like, blah, 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 blah. And that's like their code for, like, a demon took him.
Oh.
It's wild. And I was like, who are these people who are like, just get me dead as fast as possible? The Sean Bean school of acting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I actually really love the booster meeting, because I love the, like, freshly married trophy wife who can't remember her stepkids' names, and she used to work at Saks, but she doesn't anymore because she's married.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. I think she's funny. The rest of them are just like, we can't take a break. We have to actually figure this out. Apparently, it's been a disaster. Last year's event, they ended up having to, like, pay out of pocket because everybody got food poisoning. And it's one of those moments where it's, like, perfect kismet, because Lorelei has the inn and she can host this thing. Suki's never poisoned anybody. She can get them a discount because it's for charity.
She literally has the inn.
She has the inn. Yeah. Oh, look at you. The next episode is called The Ins and Outs of Inns.
Love that.
It's very funny. So I just love the way that they interact. I like when Lorelei thinks she's going to be uncomfortable and it ends up being fun.
Yeah, I liked these group of ladies. I thought they were going to be way nastier than they were.
Yeah. It's like charming nastiness. Yeah. They're just being like, the new nose job is like too puggish. And I'm just like, and
I love that they did have the one that it was like, who cares?
Yeah.
Because they were like, the one was like too pug-like. And it's like, leave her alone. And then like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I liked that a lot.
Yeah, it was great. And I think, bringing Brenda Strong into the equation is always like, welcome.
The answer.
100%. So they are doing a fashion show, and the one that used to work at Saks is providing all the outfits. They just need a venue and food, and then it's like, it didn't seem like a silent auction, but it was like you have to pay per plate, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
Probably had to buy tickets to do it.
So they're doing that. It's really nice. It ends up looking amazing. The inn looks great. Luke has to come in and fix the stage, and Eva is like,
oy, 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 oy,
yeah. She's basically like a cartoon like dog wafting after a pie. Yeah, it was very intense.
If I could unfurl my tongue, I would do so.
It's like unfurling the tongue, or like a Pepe Le Pew thing. She's like eyes locked in targets on Luke. And so Lorelei feels some type of way about it. She also, because she's so bummed about it being a fashion show and that the ladies in the Booster Club are the models, she ends up roping Emily into it too, as like payback for, insisting.
I think it's great.
I think it's, I know, it's super great. But she's like, well, don't you care about Rory? And it's always that, because she's like, fine. So Emily arrives and they are going back to the room, and she's like, if I'm doing this, you're definitely doing this. And so it turns out that they have mother-daughter outfits. And Lorelei was like, pardon? And she had no idea, because she's running around like a chicken with her head cut off, doing the rest of the stuff. And it was also a nice moment where Michelle was very helpful.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to see them so in sync.
Yeah.
And not so just like at each other's throats all the time. I enjoyed that a lot.
They do work very well together. It's just that when it's almost like he's like a parakeet. When he's not stimulated enough, he's just like causing chaos.
Yeah.
Because I like the bit at the beginning too, where the car wouldn't start, and she was like, come pick me up, and he's like, put Carol on the desk and come pick me up, and he's like, Carol ate my low-fat cheese, so I'm not talking to her. Also, what Frenchman wants low-fat American cheese?
I don't know. He's been in America too long.
Michelle.
I know. All the fat, all the cheese.
I mean, I like American cheese sometimes, but I have to be in the mood for it, like on a grilled cheese.
Yeah, you don't... The American cheese is just like when you're craving cheese and then you got nothing else left, and you're like, I guess I'm just going to eat this. Cheese, and then you eat it, and then you still feel hollow inside.
Well, and Will makes a really good sandwich with the Land O'Lakes White American. That stuff slaps. The Land O'Lakes is like legit. Yeah. That's fine. But it's like, if you just want a craft single, I feel like you can't just be eating a craft single. It needs to be melted on a burger or in a grilled cheese.
Correct. What are the Baby Bells?
The like standard ones, I think, are like Gouda, actually.
And then, because they have low-fat cheese, and so I'm wondering if it's the low-fat American cheese.
The Baby Bells? Maybe.
Because maybe that's it. Very strange.
It did seem like he wanted a cheese snack. If we know one thing, it's that Michelle does not eat sandwiches because he doesn't eat carbs. So... Yeah.
What's that like? I wouldn't know.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We do meet his mother, and I kind of can't wait for it.
Really?
Yeah, she's the trip. And he lies to her a lot. Oh. So it's very funny.
I keep waiting for him to not actually be French.
No, he is French.
Okay. Yeah. That feels good, but every time I'm like, are you? I keep waiting for like the guy from Bones that has the accent.
Oh, Arstu, yeah. I was gonna say, I actually don't remember if Yannick Truesdale is... Oh, he's French-Canadian. He's from Montreal. I was like, I don't remember if he actually has quite that accent, but I think he does.
And a French-Canadian accent is a very different French accent than French.
Okay, so I left off Lorelei's feeling some type of way about Eva and Luke.
Oh, no. We were talking about the outfits.
Oh, yes. Okay, so then we cut to the fashion show, and... Brenda Strong looking Amazonian as always. The rest of them are fine. And then
I love that everyone else is in suiting and she's in an evening
just
gown.
like in an evening gown. I'm sure Brenda Strong was like, I'm 6 feet tall. You can't do this to
and
me.
I'm probably the like unofficial head of the boosters. I'm going to be in a gown.
She's like at least 6 feet tall, actually. I think well, this is 5'11". I think she's 6 feet tall. She's
she wears heels. I guarantee you she wears heels. So
she's taller than literally every man on Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, well, good for you, girl. Wear those heels.
It's like Elizabeth Debicki. She's been wearing flats at the award shows a lot, but like she's just so tall.
I know.
When she gets up there wearing flats and she's next to Alexander Skarsgård and she's like just inching him out.
Hello, little man.
I think it's so funny.
Yeah.
And so then Emily and Lorelei come out and they're in these kind of coordinating red and black like power suits. I tell you, they're not great. They're not the worst thing they could be wearing.
Lorelei's was worse than Emily's. Emily's looked very smart.
Well, it's because Emily already wears stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that and her jacket was more cropped. Where
Lorelei's was long.
Long on top of a longer pencil skirt. Woof.
Again,
boy, howdy.
Not awful, but like it could have been worse, especially the way that Lorelei was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
well, it's grown up mommy and me. Like,
it kind of is. Kind of is.
And mommy and me stuff already makes me feel some type of way.
Yeah, I don't.
But like, don't make me do it with my grown up mom. And I'm a full.
I am a full adult.
A human has exited my vagina. Please make me stop wearing mommy and me stuff with my mom.
With my mom. So, Emily is tickled.
Oh. Killing it.
They're playing Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah.
Walking down the little runway. Michelle and Luke are watching and giggling at Lorelei specifically. She finally gets into it a little at the end, but she's also like side-eyeing Emily like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Well, and at the very end when they strike the pose, you can tell who's the dancer and who's not.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kelly Bishop, she's got dancer hand and Laura Graham is straight up. Just like, girl, we gotta like,
come on, just a little
bit of reception there.
Anyway, it's super fun and super cute. And we have like a little bit with the other booster moms and Emily that are like, this was our best event like ever. And it was so great. And whose idea was the music? And Lorelei was like, me. And the only thing is that Emily does like a little bit where it's like, it's interesting how well you fit in with what you tried so hard to get away from.
I know. Shut up, Emily.
No,
but just let it lie.
But she did it very gently, and she was like, you should be very proud, and like, you know, I'll see you girls on Friday. And it was like, that was it. It was just like, don't you think it's funny? Don't you think it's like a little bit funny? But I mean, if the thing is like, if Lorelei had done the quote unquote right thing, right now she would be half a bottle deep in Valium.
Yeah.
And gin. It's like the only reason she's okay to fit in it now is because she's able to do it her way.
Right.
And no one's forcing her. And she lived her life.
Right.
Like she would have been just like a Stepford, you know, or she would have had a nervous breakdown and ran away to Stars Hollow anyway.
She has choice in this, where if she had just followed or like fell in line, there would be no choice. It would be a requirement.
100%.
So she's choosing to participate. So therefore she can feel happier doing it.
Yeah.
Because as much as she's like, I can leave whenever I want, it's like, you actually don't. But like, she thinks that she has the, like, you know what I'm trying to say. The
illusion of choice.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things about the show that actually kind of irritates me is we don't see any of these women ever again, which sucks. The implication is that Lorelei continues to boost, but this doesn't happen again. We do see Francie later because there's like a whole student government thing at, I think next season. But yeah, so we do see Francie again, but these women are just like, it's kind of annoying. But yeah, that goes really well. She gets home, and Rory is reading on the couch, and she just happened.
Then it's back up because now you missed when Luke and Eva were.
Then they were like
flirting.
Yeah.
Well, we see from Lorelei's perspective them talking, and they seem very, very chummy.
Yeah. But if you think about the hand gestures Luke was using when you find out the end of the episode, he's just very like, and then.
I thought he was talking about the plank.
Like I kind of thought he was talking about the stage too.
But he definitely wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Brenda Strong could be a carpenter. She's very tall and strong.
Yeah.
She's so great. I love Brenda Strong so much.
Or, I mean, that could have been her in to be like, hey, to bring it back again, to be like, so tell me, like, how did you fix that? I saw you working on that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, girl's got game. She knows.
She's got game. I'm obsessed with Brenda. I think she's fantastic. What has Brenda Strong got coming up?
I looked earlier. She's working. There's a lot of stuff. She is
working. She's only got one thing coming up.
Yeah. So I did not.
She was on Supergirl.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. The Luthor mother.
Oh. Yeah. I did not know her name just because my brain doesn't work the way yours does with a lot of these, like, I don't know how to call them.
She's a character actress.
Yes. But I did see her and I was like, oh, familiar face.
Yeah.
And I just, I couldn't name anything that I've seen her in that moment, but I know that I've seen her. And so I feel very comfy cozy.
Yeah. She's one of the ones that when you see Brenda Strong, you're like, oh, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine. Okay, then when Lorelei gets home, she is just like, hey, why don't you change into your cute pajamas and, like comb your hair and put a little lip gloss on? And Rory's like, why? That seems crazy. And she's like, well, I think you're getting kidnapped tonight. So the Puffs are going to come over and grab her and do like an initiation and take her to breakfast. Or I guess she doesn't even know about the initiation. She's like, they're just going to come and take you to breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one would assume that like she's being initiated.
Yeah. We don't know. I would not assume what the initiation turns out to be.
Yeah.
But it was like, and then you're going to get breakfast and then like blah, blah, blah. So like look cute because it's nice. So she does. And she just is still up reading until they come to get her. She goes in. She does a very poor job of pretending to wake up.
What?
Oh my God. What's going on? And so they're like, we're here to like kidnap you, blah, blah, blah. And then you felt very many feelings for Paris.
I felt so bad because no one told her.
I know, yeah. She's got like zit cream all over her hair is a mess. She's got like a headband.
A grandma nightgown.
Yeah. It's tough. But I was like, it's okay. I was like, don't worry so much about Paris. It's like fine. And but she is like, this is what you look like when you've just woken up. And you can tell Rory's lying, but she's like, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so they go, they like blindfold them. There's also one other girl there and she like bumps into a wall and she's like, ow. And they're like, be quiet. And she's like, sorry, ow. And I always think it's hilarious.
Very funny.
And so they have broken into Chilton. They are breaking into the headmaster's office. And they have to recite a poem, which I guess is like Anne Sexton or something. That's what Rory says. She's like, Anne Sexton, right?
It was bad.
It's something, I think it's like a bastardization of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I do believe that it is like partially a real poem that they like messed with. And then they have to like ring a bell that's on his desk or whatever. And so they make Rory go first. And she gets 2 rings of the bell. And then the headmaster bursts in with security. This is the part that I love because I remember even when I was watching it live the first time, I was like, why is she getting in trouble? Because he's going off about suspension.
Yeah, this is so tame compared to other initiations that are still happening in real life today.
Yeah.
Really? We're gonna do that? I mean, like, trespassing on private property, sure. But suspension for that?
It's private property. They all pay to attend that institution. Right. So it's just that you're there after hours. Is that still technically a trust? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But he says something and then immoral and then illegal. And I'm like, illegal is the only one. I don't remember the first one that he said, but that one was almost
I don't remember
the worst one. So I remember watching it and being like, this is ridiculous. Like suspended for like doing, you must have known that this kind of thing has been going on before.
I was just thinking like, this is rich.
Yeah.
Literally rich that you think that this stuff isn't happening.
Yeah.
Because again, rich people do weird stuff. Like, they love a secret club. So, and
you're telling me there's no boys groups that are doing shit like this?
And all they're doing is ringing a bell. Like, they're not going and stealing or defacing property. Picking a lock, sure, I guess. But, like, come on.
No.
So
destructive.
Silly.
Destructive, immoral, illegal. And I was like, I don't think it was destructive because they didn't pick a lock because Francie had the keys.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not like they're smashing the bell. I don't know. It's so weird.
It's very weird. They're not like breaking windows. They're not doing. It's also like these are. I I do kind of. I was going to say, I don't think that there should be like, you know, division by the genders like this, but it's like, these are girls. Like, they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Regardless. So Rory stands up and at first she mumbles it under her breath. She's like, this is ridiculous. And the headmaster makes her keep talking. And she's like, okay, fine. This is ridiculous. You told me that I had to do this or that I might not get into Harvard because you can't see me socializing with my steady boyfriend, my mom, and my best friend I've had since kindergarten. Mm-hmm. Just because I want to read my book at lunch does not make me an invalid member of this school community. Like, this is absurd. And so basically then the parents start arriving and he's like, okay, you're all free to go. But Rory, we'll talk more tomorrow because you might be right, essentially. Mm-hmm. Not in so many words, but he's like, we'll see like what we can do because you're right. I don't see what you do in your free time because you don't live here. And I do kind of think that we get it a little bit, not ever in so many words, but we get a little bit more later that Paris, I think, is like kind of impressed with her for having like stood up, and then she gets picked up by the nanny.
Oh, that made me so sad.
Yeah.
My heart breaks for her.
I can't wait till it's basically now. Like, Paris is pretty great, like, from here. Like, she's always, like, acidic, kind of, but she's great from here, for the most part. I think they might have, like, one more little snaggle, but it's not, like, a huge one. It's, like, they're more, like, foils now, and less, like, antagonists.
Okay.
Yeah. It's nice. I love Paris in the first place. She's just very snotty mean girl for so much of season 1, but it's better now. So Lorelei comes to pick her up. Nothing really comes of it. She's just like, I think it's gonna be okay. Like, she's like, do I need to yell at anybody? And she's like, no, I think it's gonna be okay.
Lorelei asked Luke not to date Eva
because she thinks it would be weird to like mix with somebody from school. Like, meanwhile, you were engaged to a whole man.
Yeah, well,
come on.
But it turns out Luke was just giving her directions to get back to Hartford.
Okay, the quickest way back to Hartford, which then I love the capper on the end of it when she's like, that's just so typical of you. And he's like, what? And she's like, that's not even the quickest way back to Hartford. And then she leaves and he's just smiling at the door. Amazing. Like, I love it.
Just love each other already.
They do love each other.
Just say it to each other's faces with your mouth holes.
Okay.
And just.
Okay. Currently, though, Luke is the only one who is in love. Lorelei loves Luke. She's not in love with Luke.
She doesn't realize that she is.
That is possible. Yeah. That she just doesn't know. But yeah, that is basically the end. And then when Rory goes to school and she's sitting eating lunch and reading her book and listening to her Walkman, the other girl who was pledging the puffs comes in and asks if she can sit, and she just starts reading too. And I think it's cute. We never see her again either.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this episode. I think it's really great. I like that there's like nothing actually acrimonious between Emily, Lorelei, or Rory.
Yeah.
They're all very happy with each other. And I love it, like I said, when Rory stands up to the Chilton kid, like in the one where the deer hits her car and she just like reads everyone in the room for filth is like one of my favorites. So yeah, I think it's cute. It is one of the things where I wish we got more of the booster women.
Yeah.
But, you know, what can you do?
I'm glad it turned out better because I was very frustrated in the beginning with like them
the counselor
insinuating that she was a loner, and I'm just like, this is just not how you work with children. Like, in an education setting, and I know it's a TV show, whatever, and astrologically, I'm already very elevated, but I was just kind of like, why are we doing this?
No, it's really weird, and especially there was the one comment from the guidance counselor who was like, anyone can be a loner, even pretty girls, and I was like, yeah, but like, pick your battles, because it's like, I mean, I don't want to make broad generalizations. Some people just are loners and like, that is totally fine. But also if it claiming to make it that you're worried about her getting into college is sort of suspect. And then also like making it seem like she has antisocial tendencies.
Right, when she's participating in class. It would be one thing if she never
silent
participated
in class, silent at lunch.
Back, by herself at lunch, not in any of the extracurriculars. Sure. Yeah. That's when you reach out and be like, so talk me through
what's going on.
Yes. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable? And again, ask questions about life outside of school. Because it's like, again, because
she just keeps saying my grades are fine. I have friends.
Yeah.
But it's like literally they have blinders. They're like, well, you're not seeing your friends in Hartford. And she's like,
I don't know. Aren't super smart people kind of awkward socially anyway?
So the broad generalization I was going to make is I was like, she's always fed. She's always clothed. She's always clean. Like it's not even like there's something maybe negative happening at home. But then in my head, I was like, well, Ted Bundy was all those things too. So like, I don't know. But it just like...
But he was over-socializing.
But just being quiet at lunch at school is, to me, not a red flag.
Yeah.
If everything else is going well.
And she is going into the lunchroom. It's not like she's going to it like a teacher's office or a classroom.
Like Charlie on Heartstopper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we leaps and bounds we took to get to this assumption.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I know there had to be a reason why we got there, but I just was like, this feels very out of nowhere. And it feels very like, I'm going to write this on purpose so we get something else. Yeah. And I didn't like that part.
No. And it's also, I mean, part of the thing about Rory is that like her fun and her safe space is books. And she is on the newspaper because she wants to be a journalist. But like there's got to be no film club at this thing, or she would maybe join that because she loves watching movies with her mom.
Yeah.
But it's like, there aren't any clubs that are like for her interests. Like she does, like, we had that golf episode in season 1 where she learned to play golf with Richard. But it's like, she doesn't want to join a sport. She's not very coordinated. She doesn't really have musical talent. So it's like, she's on the paper. What else do you
want? What
else do you really want?
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing is very frustrating.
Yeah. Like in middle school, there weren't any extracurriculars through the school that appealed to my interests. We didn't have theater. We didn't have dance. What else am I going to do? I tried volleyball. I made it one season and then got cut the following year because I didn't want to try. Yeah. But like, okay, so are you mad? Why are you mad at me? Provide me something and then maybe I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's just
I did extracurricular. I didn't do any clubs until my senior year. And then I was in the Latin club, but I was on the swim team and I was on the track team. I did swimming in my spare time. I took flute lessons and I was in band. But it's like, if you had only been judging me by what I did at school, then everyone would be like, you're only on the swim team. And if somebody had said that's not enough, I would be like, well, I'm taking flute lessons in my spare time. I'm on a year-round swim team in addition to the school swim team. And then I ran track my sophomore year. And then I was just like, what more do you bitches want? Like,
I was only in theater. And then if they tried to come at me, I'd be like, I work.
Yeah.
I leave rehearsal. So I go to school, I go to rehearsal, and then I leave and I go to fucking work.
So that's the other thing too, is I feel like they didn't put that into account either, because she doesn't, obviously, Rory doesn't have a job, but she lives in a one-parent, single-income household, and she's on a scholarship. Well, she's not on a scholarship, but someone else is paying for her tuition. What if she had to have a job to pay back the tuition?
Right. Is that enough? Not enough socialization?
No, ridiculous. So.
Stupid. Yeah. Well, and then Lorelei brought that up where she was like, my schedule.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to hear anything about
Everyone's busy. And it's like, all of the other moms have a rich husband.
Right. Or they have staff.
Yeah.
I don't have either.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? And it's like, okay, so Emily and Richard are paying the tuition. Why are you not talking to Emily and Richard to maybe be a little bit more involved in the programs?
Yep.
I hate it.
All right. Overall, though,
I don't hate this show.
No.
I hate the situation.
And I think it's still a very good episode. I think it's very entertaining, and I like how everything wraps up and there's not like a real lot of negativity.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I don't like Headmaster Charleston.
His first name is Hanlon.
Well, and I think it's the Amy Sherman-Palladino where sometimes the shit that she writes is just like a cheese grater on my brain.
Sure.
And I'm like, where I get really just stressed out or like angry. And it's like, for what?
I agree.
Why are you doing this to me?
I agree. I super agree. The last thing I'll say is I really love the moment when Rory is going off in the headmaster and she's like, so you told me I needed to do all this stuff, so I did. I sat down at lunch at a random table and Francie just goes, random? Because she thought it was on purpose. Yeah. I love it. Her name is Emily Burgle, right? She's fantastic. You recognize her from Maisel. She plays Susie's sister. She is also in Carrie 2, The Rage.
I saw that on her IMDb. Yeah.
I used to catch that movie on TV. It's amazing. Zachary Ty Bryan totally gets his dick cut off with a harpoon. And then a bunch of them get like drowned in the swimming pool. It's fantastic. Her tattoos like expand over her eye. It's wild. I used to be obsessed with it. It's like not very good, but it's very good.
Who plays Carrie?
Her. She's the Well, not Carrie. It's not Carrie. It's
or like the Carrie-esque character.
I actually don't remember what her name is in that. But it's like it's still Rachel.
Oh. Hey! Everyone loves my name recently. My name has been in everything except take it out of your mouth, Tom Sandoval. No I swear to fucking God.
No shit.
Ugh.
So yeah, it's like she's basically poor from the trailer park, and then she like kind of catches the eye. I think it's one of the London brothers. Yeah, Jason London. He they like she catches his eye, and so she like starts kind of getting like invited into like the cool kids club and stuff, but it turns out it's like a prank and they're doing this and like they have sex, but someone was recording it and they show the video at like a party and she goes fully fucking Carrie and oh my God.
Listen, so as you should.
Yeah, it's so good.
Who amongst us has not wish we had like that. Really angry telepathy to like just set shit on fire?
Boy, I would be
Senate.
In so much trouble. And Amy Irving is in it. She's in the original Carrie. She's the nice one that's like at the end.
I've never seen Carrie.
Oh my gosh. It's Brian De Palma, so but it's like a classic for a reason. But she's the one that I'm sure you've seen the shot, like at the very end, she's putting like flowers on a grave and the hand comes up and like
Yikes.
Yeah.
Scary.
Let us know if you want. Me and Will probably. I don't know if Rachel wants to do it. But let me know if you want us to cover Carrie, The Rage, Carrie 2. Boy. I used to fucking love that movie. All right, that's it for us. This was super long.
Without us really tangenting. We really didn't go off on a tangent today.
Just at the end here. But yeah, let us know what you think. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.